Hey y'all, it's MJ from All to Love, and in this share, I want to talk to you guys about my recent ayahuasca experience. It was beautiful. It was a really good reset for myself as the last few months were presenting some pretty deep sort of lifelong suffering patterns. They were kind of coming up again, and I was actually really asking for help with regards to this kind of energetic reset, and especially it was just this last weekend, so it was the weekend building up to the new moon and to the solar eclipse, and of course this kind of tailing off of the Lion's Gate energy, and so it really could not have come at a more divine time for myself and also like my life path, and I would even say like for the All to Love movement, because at this moment there's that kind of sense of being guided by it and breaking through, and I guess you could say sort of releasing enough fear to really rise to the occasion. And as some of you might know, my next sort of phase is traveling a lot, and I'm setting off September 11th to Amsterdam to interview Bridget Nielsen and attend her retreat, and then I'm going to Italy and then Lisbon, or not specifically Lisbon, I'm flying into Lisbon, but I'm going to the Merkaba community in Portugal. So I'm going to be interviewing some of the founders and the people who live there, and then I'll be going to Egypt to visit the pyramids, and then Bali. After Bali, I'm not exactly sure. I'm tentatively feeling into some volunteer work, some yoga teaching and marketing help at a surf school and yoga retreat in Sri Lanka. So that would be amazing, but it's in a workaway program, so it's not exactly set in stone just yet. So I'll explain a little bit more in detail my experience with the plant medicine, and that I was not really seeking it. It was something I definitely, like so many others, came across some documentaries and information about it, and I'm not somebody who demonizes anything, so I don't tend to demonize pharmaceutical drugs, and so I don't demonize plant medicine either. I'm all about alignment and resonance, and that one attunes to their own self so that they can get to know what aligns with them and what doesn't, or what resonates and what doesn't. And I came to a point when I was kind of like, oh yeah, that might be fun, and there was definitely like, so there was a part of me that was sort of seeking the ayahuasca experience, that maybe it could fix me, or maybe it could align me, or maybe it could bring me to these this plateau place, and so I kind of let it go. I let go of seeking it completely, and then it just dropped in. It just really kind of out of nowhere dropped in, and then somebody was like, well, you should come, you should be part of the family, and I tell you what, like, these are just some of the most like kind and loving and generous people. There were just under 30 of us, including the shamans, although they don't really call themselves shamans. They're men and of the world, and they believe in love, and they believe in people facing their fears, and it was just amazing. So on the first night, after the day of like the sweat lodge and obviously really high vibrational organic food and vegan food, and then the very first night, the one guy, now these were like authentic, the guy, one of the guys, like, they're both from Brazil, and one's or both might be even from the Amazon, and like he had his first ayahuasca when he was 11, and his father like passed it down, right? So it's proper people who have experience with the plant, and it was very ceremonious and it was very sacred as well. And before we went into the ceremony, he just briefed everybody about, it's about facing your fears and facing death, and people actually have like a death experience in ayahuasca, and more than that, it's just, I think, fears. And so it was pretty awesome because what he said totally aligns with the teachings in the Fearless Life Guide in Alta Love Project, which is the book that I published late last year and early this year in paperback. And you have people vomiting and being sick and stuff, and so that's quite weird. And I took my time with it. I did have a sip on the first round. There's 3 rounds in total, and then I didn't the second, and then I had another half on the third, and I ended up singing, and I laughed, and I moved a lot and stretched a lot, and I was very aware of wanting to be present in the group and enjoy the music and go into meditation, and I could see like the spiral patterns of DNA, and I could really, really feel the connectivity, really feel the oneness connection, and I really felt like the plant was just saying, you're good, you're doing the work, and the truth inside. And so by the end of the day, like a lot of the newbies had a lot of purge and kind of like sitting with a lot of the density and darkness and stuff. And my intention was really just to be a shining example of human potential, and to give myself permission to really let go of lifelong suffering patterns and really release any of those little fears that could still be blocking me on the path that I'm on this sort of awakening journey that I'm on. So yeah, it was really beautiful, and I chose not to drink any on the second night because the following day I had a talk, I had a gig at a festival, which I had to drive 2 hours or an hour and a bit to get there, and I wanted to just be really, really present with the group, and I just felt like it was such a beautiful, blissful, and divine experience, and I could really feel the kind of, in a very real way, like a cellular reset, you could say, like a cellular reset to just come into alignment, right? So I feel like I absolutely, I guess you could say enjoyed it and got what I needed from it, but nothing in me wants to do it again. Not right now, anyway. Because as I say, like, oh, blissful light, la la la, there's also this depth. It is so deep. It's such a deep plant, and it's inescapable as well. So once you endeavor to be part of the ceremony and you take that first cup, it's working on you. It's working with your mind, body, and spirit, and bringing you to a place of awareness, and this is what I practice in my day-to-day life, right? A place of awareness where it's not always comfortable and nice and pretty, but you are the oneness. You are connected with everything. So it affirmed that, the work really is inside of us. It's not outside of us. However, there are people, places, things, and substances which can often give us like a gateway, give us like a little bit more insight into where we are on our path, where we're meant to go on our path, and more like into like how we are able to feel in alignment, how we're able to really feel love and feel acceptance and feel connection to our brothers and sisters, to the planet, to the earth herself. And that we really are here with her, that we're here with being part in service to her and to one another. So yeah, an enjoyable experience, and deep. And I think because I live in the depths, typically I am a deep thinker and a deep feeler and all that kind of stuff. So because of its depth and profoundness, it's not something that I'm like rushing or seeking to experience again, because it's always there. That feeling and that connectivity is always there. However, if for some reason along my journey, for however many more decades, if it comes into alignment like it did on this past weekend, then I'm sure I'll be guided or called to be present and be of service in another ceremony if that's the case. So it's just interesting. People say, oh, so no, never again. And I'm like, well, life is so fluid, and life is so cyclical that if it were to come up again and I'm meant to do it, then I will do it. But I'm certainly not seeking, it's not like I want to run and go do another ayahuasca ceremony anytime soon, because it's deep. And I think oftentimes we just get exactly what we need in the right moment, and it liberates us for a next chapter or a next phase of our lives. But for me personally, it is beautiful. I just keep saying the same words again, but it is like beautiful and so profound, and like the profoundness is like exquisite, and the divinity is like exquisite, but there's also this darkness and this mystery to it as well, which I think sometimes in our normal day-to-day living, that kind of darkness and depth and mystery can make us feel a bit sick. And I think that's sometimes what people are purging, and I've heard different theories about the purging side of it, but I'm pleased. I do feel very much like you've survived an ordeal once you come to the end of the ceremony. And when I sang, I made myself cry because I've had a block about singing, and I sang and the whole group was silent, and people said they had visions when I sang and all that kind of stuff, and I just feel like I've been able to kind of lock into myself in a deeper way, and lock into my purpose, and certainly lock into my voice. And I think that was part of the singing and retuning that playful essence. So to me, ayahuasca is a plant medicine that, when done in the right conditions under a sacred, ceremonious, collective energy, that it really has the power to kind of bring you back to your core, essence, that innocent, playful, divine, light, love being that is totally held in unconditional love and acceptance. That's what ayahuasca has the power to show us. And then it's our continuing our work that allows us to stay there and to not get too concerned about our external conditions, but to remember that the truth and the divine mystery is living inside of our own self. And then how we choose to come out into the world and express that is unique to each and every one of us. So thank you guys for listening. I hope this share was useful to you or enlightening to you. If you have any more questions about the All to Love movement, or about ayahuasca, or about meditation, or anything that I talk about, please feel free to get in touch. Buy the book, The Fearless Life Guide. You can buy it in the description below via my website or via Amazon. And if you're resonating with the material of the book, then you're welcome to join the Fearless Life Tribe, where we just share lots of insights, and we support one another on our journey of transformation as well. So lots of love. Have a beautiful day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.